An emergency meeting of the UN Security Council was convened in New York on Wednesday in reaction to North Korea's ballistic missile launch. The United States is calling for more sanctions, including cutting off the regime's oil supply. And even if there is no new UN resolution, further unilateral sanctions by Washington are set to be in the works. Our Kwon Jang-ho at the Foreign Ministry for us.
The United Nations Security Council roundly condemned North Korea's latest missile provocations, but it was the U.S. ambassador who came out the strongest.
The dictator of North Korea made a choice yesterday that brings the world closer to war, not farther from it. We have never sought war with North Korea, and still today, we do not seek it. If war does come, it will be because of continued acts of aggression like we witnessed yesterday. And if war comes, make no mistake, the North Korean regime will be utterly destroyed.
The U.S. ambassador called for all nations to fully implement UN sanctions on North Korea and cut off all diplomatic ties. But she also suggested additional moves, such as taking away the regime's voting powers at the UN and cutting off oil supplies. On that last suggestion, Haley pointed out that China was North Korea's biggest supplier of oil and said that, in fact, President Trump had asked China's President Xi to turn off the taps on the regime. China's ambassador, meanwhile, urged North Korea to comply with UN resolutions and advocated dialogue between all relevant parties. Russia placed some responsibility on South Korea and the US, calling on the two nations to refrain from carrying out any more joint military drills for the rest of the year, saying it could inflame an already explosive situation.
We have stated more than once that these kinds of moves are not only an irritant, but overall undermine the military balance in the region and also threaten the security of neighboring states.
Whether the UN Security Council will take up a new resolution or sanctions remain unclear. President Trump, however, has called for more sanctions. Earlier on Wednesday, he tweeted that he had spoken to Chinese President Xi Jinping and that, quote, additional major sanctions will be imposed on North Korea today, adding this situation will be handled. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said later that a number of options for sanctions were being explored, including hitting some financial institutions. Although he did not specify a timeline, he said the Treasury Department will make an announcement when the sanctions are ready to be rolled out. Kwon Jang-ho, Arirang News.